Hey everybody, once again it is time for my client Michelle's vlog, and we are pretty much continuing with what we've been doing. We are changing up every 3 weeks. We are changing her exercises a little bit, so her supplemental lifts change a little bit, but our main lifts pretty much stay the same. What are our main lifts? Bench press, pull-ups, squats, deadlifts. A lot more emphasis on squats though. On deadlifts, we really only pull one single every week, and that's okay. So what we're doing for her training, because she still has Worlds and or Nationals coming up this year, way later in the year, we are continuing to do singles with training maxes that are below her maxes. Everything else is hypertrophy. Everything else is 10 plus reps. Everything other than our pause squats for reps are done as supersets. So after we do that single on that, we go to 10 rep sets of bench, followed by 10 rep sets of overhand grip pull-ups. Again, those are taken to about 1 rep in reserve. Some of her stuff is right at failure. Then our next superset, we do incline benching. And now we're supersetting it with strict barbell rows. I know previously she's done a lot of Pendlay rows. We've used a lot of a little bit of hip drive on those. Now I've told her, look, since we're going to be doing bikini stuff, let's get everything strict. We want everything more and more controlled. So I am having her focus on more control, less cheating exercises. And a lot of that we have to keep up with is obviously because she's getting leaner still. The scale's been going down. She is getting leaner. We have to be aware of injuries and stuff. We have to be aware of overuse. And in this case, I really want the only thing super heavy to be our training maxes every week. Everything else, I'm like, look, I want you to be, using the lightest weight that you can, which means the full ranges of motion, strict control, controlling everything. Not that light weight is good, but that we don't need to use more weight than is required to get the muscles to go to failure or to extreme fatigue. So rather than cheating on a barbell row, let's just go strict and controlled, even if you take 50 pounds off. Right? So all these exercises now, we're seeing it get a lot stricter because we are chasing true hypertrophy. We don't care about any sort of power development. We don't care about anything involving high rates of force production. We can save that for meet preps. Right now, I want her to build as much muscle mass as possible, do as much muscle stimulus as possible, and I need her to be able to recover from it. And I want to be clear here, her training volumes are higher than my average client. So you'll see all of this and go, okay, so we are literally doing 12 sets for chest and back every week, not counting deadlifts, not counting the maxes, any of that. So people have to remember that's not counting any of the splash over. A lot of these exercises will have some carryover. And those are really only getting that. Everything else is getting a lot of volume. So we start looking at direct work. If you notice here, supersets here, we did upright rows and we're doing skull crushers. Then for our next superset, we'll do lateral raises and then dumbbell curls. So again, delts are getting 12 direct sets. So that's what I mean by really high volume. Delts are pretty much the biggest muscle in the upper body. Yes, there's good data on that. They're getting a lot of work with pushing and pulling, but I am really hammering her delts with all the direct work, okay? Hammering them with the direct work because we're doing all these upright rows and laterals, 3 sets of each, both upper body workouts. Keeping in mind that's in addition to all the benching, incline rows, pull-ups. And then we do 6 total sets of direct arm work every week in addition to all that, keeping in mind all these other exercises are working arms to some extent. Again, note what we're doing here. So then we finish up for our last superset with curls and the lateral raises. The curls, I want her to be very, very strict. We've worked on that. I want her to do full ranges of motion. All right. And something I might note here, I would like her to lock the elbows a little more at the bottom. We're not quite getting full extension down there, but that's okay. She hasn't done a lot of really bicep work in the past. So the bicep training directly is kind of new to her because she just recently decided, just over a couple months ago, hey, I want to do bikini and physique stuff too. Modeling is going good for her. Yes, obviously that comes up too. I've had a few people, how is she modeling with all the tattoos? She does alt modeling. She's actually done a magazine cover. It's all up on her social media stuff. So she actually had a magazine cover last year. She's done dozens and dozens of shoots. So again, she's doing the alt modeling. And so hopefully that makes more sense to people when that gets brought up. Again, that's a very, very big growing thing. It's a growing trend. It's a growing area, and it's actually become quite big. So that answers that question. By the way, that has come up in here. I've had someone ask that, and I'm like, you guys have never heard of like alt modeling? It's like, all right, okay then, all right. Wow. Sorry, let me continue with the training. But so what we're doing now, we're changing stuff up a little bit. I'm taking her over to doing some volume squatting. So now we're doing pause squatting. So we do our top single on this with a back squat, and then we do it on deadlift for her second leg day each week. Then I have her come in, and we're doing about 3 sets of 10 with 1 to 0 reps in reserve on pause squats. And why the pause? I need those quads and glutes growing. She's actually seeing glute gains. We've actually been really happy with that. No offense intended to my client, but we started without much glute going on. So they've come up considerably. So she's been happy with that. It's definitely been good for the modeling end. But we need to continue to work on them. So the quads and the glutes have to come up. Hamstrings have been doing quite good. We know where her strengths are there. Calves have to come up. So calves are getting a big priority also. So really we want everything growing, but we are putting a big priority on the calves, a big priority on the delts. And I'm pushing a little bit harder of glute and quad work back in there because, again, we got to get bikini competition ready. So our supersets after this, we do some trisets. So for the trisets, we do leg presses, then glute ham raise, and then she comes back and does toe presses for her calves for the gastrocnemius of the calf on the leg press. She just uses the same weight she does for the leg press. It makes stuff a lot easier. She can just have it set up and just go back and forth with her superset. So again, we're using these, and this is actually a great use of the leg press. Again, this is one of these reasons I really like these 45-degree leg press slides. I wish that I had one in my gym at this point. Problem is the space, the cost, everything else. So it's something I will probably eventually do one day. But yeah, I love those 45-degree slides, and that goes to show we can do a lot with the legs on them, but they're even a good calf tool. It's one of those machines that I've liked even way when I was younger. Some of my strongest squatters, we've done a lot of leg pressing. By strong squatters, I mean like my 175-pound guy squatting over 500. My guy in the 220 who ended up squatting 700 in a meet. I had him do 615 on camera for you guys, and it looked like a warm-up. He needed to exit out of coaching, though, and then he did the meets as soon as he got out and just hit big numbers. So, we got him pretty much ready. So, leg press was a big, big deal for him, though. Then afterwards, for our next set of lifts, we do, you guys can see good mornings, right? So we do good mornings. Again, glute and hamstring, erector, and then we superset that with seated calf raises. And then I threw in her deadlift for the week just at the end, just because, she's good at deadlifts. We've hit some great deadlift numbers over the last couple of years, and I just hate to not put a deadlift in the vlog. If I have any footage of one, I kind of want to put it in there, right? She's built a deadlift, and she's still pulling good numbers in spite of being down well over 20 pounds at this point. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.